Hey, Justice Serve TV, Michael Bryant here. Happy Memorial Day, and tip of the hat to all those folks that have made the freedoms we enjoy a possibility. So don't forget that on this day. I've also been thinking about some other stuff as it relates to the Karen Reed case. What a surprise, since we've been knee deep into it, maybe waist deep, maybe even neck deep for a number of weeks now. So I thought it'd be interesting to look back at three things that we have talked about here on Justice Serve TV that make you wonder what really happened that night, January 28th/29th, 2022, at 34 Fairview. So I like to call this the Tales of the Tail Light. Here's the tail light. Here's my thought.
What is it? Now, tell everybody what this is about. Tell
Well, this
everybody
is,
what this
we've
is.
seen, everybody has seen the back of that car. Here's our graphics department came up with this. Here's the back of the car, and this whole thing, this whole opening, that's a module. That's what it's one piece. Okay.
From an SUV,
from the same car, the Lexus.
You went out and bought that as a demo?
I did. So you can see this one is already broken. So that's why I got it relatively cheap. But
well, where is it broken? Let's say, because
it's got a little broken
issue,
spot.
right?
Yeah, well, it's got a little broken spot here at the top. But it also lets me kind of get a sense of, I've replaced headlights, taillights, and I know this stuff. I mean, this is, how does the human body break one of these? That was my initial thought.
She'd have to be going a lot faster than what was it, 3 or 4 miles an hour?
And even then, what would she have to impact? Okay, so, if you impact somebody's, arm or side of their body, that's not likely to break this. I mean, look, you gotta have.
Wait, show everybody. What are you doing?
You have a hammer type blow to break this. This doesn't break with a soft tissue, especially what happens when you bump into somebody? They move away. They're not a rock. They're not a tree. They're not going to stay solid. They're going to recoil from the impact. So here's one of my thoughts, and this leads, and then why is this left at the scene but not after the alleged impact? It's nothing there, but it does show up later. That's a different story. Okay, so let's assume that in an arm, striking that polycarbonate lens could cause it to break, to fracture, to almost explode into many, many, many pieces. Okay, let's assume that. What about driving around with an exposed taillight like that? Okay, here's the deal. Here's the experiment. I'm going to take this. This is our SUV Lexus taillight, and I have strapped it on to the car. And it's kind of rainy, yucky out. No, it is not snowing. No, this is not very scientific, but really, what in this trial has been really all that believably scientific? Can you answer me that? So, I'm going to take it for a spin. Put 15, 20 miles. I'm running around doing some errands. We'll see if there is any. First of all, hopefully it won't fall off, but we'll see if there are any, signs of road debris, dirt, that kind of stuff. Who knows? That doesn't look weird or anything, does it? So when I decided to do this, I actually forgot I'd kind of left this dangling. It'd been on there for a few days, but, it wasn't snowing, and it probably did 30, 40 miles max. So, how bad could it be, right? And of course, the issue is if the taillight on that Lexus driven by Karen Reed had been totally blown out, no lens left, no real lens left, and then it's driven and towed a number of miles back and forth from 34 Fairview to One Meadows Ave to Dighton to the tow truck and then to the Canton. Wouldn't there be something inside? So I thought, okay, it had been raining the last few days, so let's just do it using rain as a possibility. So here's what we got. Let me take it out of here. This very scientifically created sling that I had on here. Okay, so I mean, it's not snow, it's not road grime, it's just dirt and water from on the road. Can you see? You can kind of see that, right? I mean, there's some dirt in there. Some dirt, not a lot, but if somebody wanted to do some forensic investigation, I think they'd find there's plenty here to suggest maybe the taillight wasn't broken when it was driven all over the place. And finally, what about that chip of glass? Remember the chip of glass that was supposedly on the bumper for one hell of a ride from 34 Fairview all the way to Dighton on the tow truck?
flatbed there, and then driven back to Canton PD. What about that magic piece of glass?
Well, if you have a glass like this, you have a glass here, and it were to break, I can't break my glass. You break a glass, right?
Okay, show
And
it. We can't see. You
then
have below the.
yeah, believe me, it's all down there. And then you've got a little shard of glass. Can you
Right.
see my shard of glass there?
Right. Please don't embed it in your palm.
Please, so that's resting. This is resting on the bumper.
Right.
There goes my shard of glass. And I guarantee you that wasn't 40 miles gusting of wind or being dragged around on a trailer, right? Oh, wait, here's another shard of glass that's sitting on the bumper. Whoops, there it goes. So
I'm sorry, this shouldn't be funny, but it's funny. This
it's
is the
just
kind of
so
demonstrative.
obvious.
It's the kind of demonstrative exhibit that somebody should accidentally use, in the courtroom,
Yeah, like here they are. Here's that delicate shard of glass. Go with me, jurors. It's sitting there for everybody to see, and now it's driving 20 miles here, 10 miles there, and now it's gone.
So just a few thoughts, a few memories on this Memorial Day that make me wonder, what exactly happened that night in Canton. And again, as I've said many times, you get to the end of the prosecution case, you get to the end of the case in total, and you're still saying, what the hell happened? I have no idea. Well, my friends, that's a reasonable doubt. Have a great weekend.